Carson Beck. Tango Sorsal.
Carson, I know individual stuff doesn't mean much to you, but Vinny Testaverde had a record here that stood for 39 years, and then you broke it tonight going 15 for 15 to start. Do those things, one, mean anything to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's super cool, obviously, to, perform at a high level and do things like that. It's actually funny. So I was talking to Coach Bobo, the offensive coordinator at Georgia last week after the game a little bit. And I think I had like a streak there where I had a couple completions in a row last week. And he had texted me whatever, because he has the record at Georgia. I think it's like 19 in a row. So, and he had texted me like, oh, like you're not going to break my record, blah, blah, blah. So I was going into it, I was like, all right, like I'm going to try to get 19 in a row. And then I threw the out route over Malachi's head, and I was pissed. Not really, I'm kidding. But no, it was super cool, man. And those guys were out there making plays. I mean, the O-line was giving me all the time in the world. And I mean, when you got CJ going up and grabbing balls out of the air like that, it makes my job a little easier to be able to do that. So.
Hey, Carson, when you came here,
tougher games. Last week was tough. The next three are going to be pretty tough too. But how important is it? A night like tonight, a lot of guys play. A lot of guys have something on film now. Just how critical?
No, absolutely. I think last year taught me a lot. Just going through my injury and just going through the season and facing adversity, and then having to come back from an injury. It really it showed me to never take the sport for granted, right? Never take what I love for granted. And every opportunity is an opportunity, and that's what I try to stress to these guys so much, is that every time that you get a chance to get on the field, like, we only have guaranteed 10 more games. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's crazy to think that way, but like, it's the truth. And like, you work all year for these 12 guaranteed opportunities, and now we're 2 in, right? So just try to take every single game with a grain of salt. Show appreciation to the game, go out there, execute, and that's what we did at a high level tonight. So really proud of the guys. We'll celebrate this one and then get in there, watch film on USA tomorrow.
We'll go to Jordan in the front row, then we'll go to Brian.
Yeah, Carson, you threw completion, I think, to 10 different guys. Just the importance of being able to spread the ball around. What you like about that? Obviously, we know CJ and Malachi what they're going to do, but for you to be able to start building a rapport in game settings with the rest of the receivers.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Coach Dawson does a really good job of just mixing up offensive looks and just cycling calls, and not just cycling calls, but getting us in really good calls against what the defense is doing against us. And for me, I just do what the defense tells me to do, right? So, I mean, obviously I watch film when I prepare throughout the week, and I have an idea of what it's going to look like, what it's going to be on the field, but you never know until you're actually out there, right? You have to react, you have to make the throw, you have to, read the defense. So, but that's the fun of the game, right? Is reacting to the defense, and whoever is the man called, based off of the coverage, that's where the ball's going to go to. So I'm glad that it was able to get spread around tonight.
We'll go to Brian on the front row, and then Adam.
Carson, obviously it's one thing to be able to make throws and read the defenses, go to the right place, but to have the timing that you have with these guys, it almost feels like you've been with them for multiple years, but you haven't. So how have you been able to build that rapport and just get on the same page that quick?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, it was a short amount of time with the injury, but man, I have to give a huge credit to them because of their mentality and their mindset and their approach to learning and being on the same page with me. Like, obviously, like, it takes relationships to build chemistry, right? I think we've done a great job, me and the wide receivers, of actually having like real genuine relationships and like bonds that will last beyond football, right? But even back in January, February, when I was in a brace and I couldn't even bend or straighten my arm, better yet throw a football, I was way far from that. Like, we're in there watching film, going over plays, like talking through coverages, like I'm out there, we're walking through routes after practice, all that type of stuff. And then even through spring ball, obviously I wasn't practicing, but trying to coach them and teach them how I see things. I think that helped a lot, but also their mindset and mentality, really allowed that to happen. Because if they didn't come with the right approach, then anything that I do wouldn't matter, right? So, I mean, that's a kudos to them and the way that they work. And then obviously summer PLPs, all the work during fall camp. I mean, it all just kind of clicked because of all the mental stuff that we did in the offseason.
Adam, your wrap up.
Carson, just what do you think of kind of the balance of the offense tonight and Mark and Marty in the backfield?
Yeah, I mean, those dudes are, gosh, I would not want to tackle. I mean, they're big, tough, physical runners. Marty and Mark, obviously, I mean, Lyle was a little banged up, but I mean, he's a third guy that is going to come in there and run that rock hard. I mean, you got some looks at our younger guys tonight as well. So, but man, I mean, it all starts behind that O-line. They lead this team, they run this team. I've talked about them a ton throughout the offseason and even coming into the season. But I mean, from pass protection to run block to, I mean, and we run so many different run plays and scheme, and Coach Mirabal does a great job with all that. But then you get the rock in guys' hands that can make safeties miss and make second level defenders miss and go take a 4-yard gain and turn it into a 20-yard gain, right? It makes my job a lot easier, especially when guys are so worried about fitting the run, and that's when you can obviously throw it over their head. So super proud of those guys and excited to see the way that they work throughout the continuous of the season.
All right, thanks Carson.
Thank you,
You
guys.
got Gerard?